Hello and welcome to Chess Please, and today I come to you with a very simple mission. Today I want to play a game of chess with 0 blunders. That's right, I don't want to blunder a single piece or a single blundered move according to chess.com's engine. Easier said than done, nobody ever really makes a blunder on purpose, but let's just try and do it. We can have misses, we can have inaccuracies, near misses, or whatever they call them, mistakes, that's fine. Blunder, specifically the red double question mark blunder, that's what we want to avoid. We are playing an Alpine Sicilian, or whatever this might be called. So very easy to blunder because we don't know our theory. Hard to argue against just developing and not dropping a pawn also seems hard to argue against. Developmenty. Now, when we're trying to play a no blunder game, we might have to play a little boring chess. We might play a little conservative, a little cagey, just developing our pieces so far. This is a nice pin. To be honest, I don't hate our position. This bishop is obviously the world's worst, but this is a decent move. That's fine by me. I think it's probably time to castle. This also looks pretty annoying right now, you might say. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And nominate our first candidate for blunder of the game. I think we just take here. Queen pops out here. I am pretty interested in just take. I guess not quite. Not quite just yet. Let's continue to develop. There was a take. Well, that was wrong. But if they went take, that's also wrong. So, no worries. We had a bad plan, and they didn't let us enact it, so that's fine. We can actually let them take if they want to, because this is undefended. And we might take the opportunity to develop our rook here. I think this all makes sense. Who knows? There could be blunders. Blunder, again, specifically, as judged by chess.com's analysis engine, sometimes it can see things as misses if it's like a miss is generally a blunder, but it's like a good move that you missed. It's like a blunder that doesn't necessarily do like damaging harm to your position, but you would be much better if you played the other move. Whereas a blunder, more specifically, is you did lasting and significant damage to your position, which could happen at a moment's notice. That's probably a decent move. We are very focused on this here queenside. So it might just be hold on us to drop back here, unfortunately. It's a little bit of a tempo move, but they can just connect this and hem us in all the more. Also an argument to just blow up the dynamite here. We might want to keep the tension here, but if they trade queens, we're absolutely laughing there, to be honest with you. They probably won't, but that's on them. Great, okay. This doesn't really do much, but it looks interesting because this is pinned. Well, queen takes, but bishop takes. Okay, let's go back to our original move. All the poorer. Right. Okay. It seems a little wild to castle right now, but I think it might have to be the play. No. No. That seems like could be blunder fuel. Right, what do we have? We have a light square bishop. I'm gonna do something that looks crazy passive, because it is. But what I'm looking to do is bosh right back here. Does that make sense? That does kind of make sense. Right here is fine, but it's actually way further out of the woods there. And now we can do bishop here, which I think will be at least interesting. So it's something to think about. We can trade off that bishop, mess this queen around. This pawn remains weak, and we did create that weakness with our trade of that bishop for their knight. Perhaps a little prematurely. We could have held on to that tension a little longer and kept that knight in limbo at our request. They can castle here, which is interesting too. But that's very interesting. Doesn't break the pin. It obviously connects the rooks, which is fine. We are still going to enact this plan, which I think is pretty nice, to be honest. I can come in here and here. That's not how knights move, so disregard that. I know how to play chess. I've kind of immediately forgotten about the blunder challenge. Perhaps it is moot. What's no, not quite. They kind of want to be careful where they move their queen here. Actually, they want to be very... They've resigned! They've resigned! Why? Why did they do that? I guess we had a lot of pressure on this and this. Listen. Let's see what the game review says. Did we get away with no blunders? That'd be nice. That'd be nice. First thing we check. Oh, it looks like we did make one significant blunder. No, it's a miss. It's a miss. Okay. Or a mistake, perhaps. Let's have a little go-see gander through. We play an Alpin-ish, whatever that might be. I'm not sure what the computer will call it. Feels like they played an Alpin. Is that true? Yeah, probably. Bababooey. We take in the center. Again, that is maybe an inaccuracy because it gives them a free square to take that knight. But alas, here we go. We get our pieces out. That's fine. Queen there was a mistake. But not a blunder. I think they just wanted us to make this weak pawn early doors, which did seem pretty nice, to be fair. Queen there is a miss. That's fine. Rook there was nice move. Just get another piece into the mix. This was a miss. Okay. Why? Tell me why. So they wanted us in this position to take here. It's not a blunder. So this was fine. Why, I ask? You're putting pressure on the queen here, of course. But why not just do this? Oh, because now we get even more pressure on the knight. Well, they want us to take with the rook, say. Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're not going to take with the queen. We've got a lovely discovery there. And if they take with the pawn, then we fork the king and the rook, and they're obviously not going to take with the queen there. Okay, so let's say they do this. And we do this. Then they take there. Oh, now we can bring in the cavalry. Some computer BS, but it was a miss. It was not a blunder. It was a miss. We bring the knight back pretty lamely, but it doesn't really matter. This tenuous little knight maneuver. It was a plan. It was a tame, lame plan. Perhaps this was a mouse slip. Maybe they wanted to move the queen there instead of the king, which might explain why they resigned. If they think they've already mouse slipped, and then this is a mistake, it is something that we are able to take advantage of. Maybe it's a mouse slip because this is a crazy move to make. Although it does add another defender to this pawn, so perhaps that is what they meant. And once we played this move, they realized that it was kind of folly. And the reason being is, I mean, if you move anywhere, but like, what about just like here? You move there, you take, and either the king or the queen takes, which leaves this without a defender, and then we're flooding on in through. So it's a positional blunder. It's a little bit of a material blunder in terms of a pawn, but a positional blunder mainly. And to be honest, this looks very unpleasant if we're steaming on through here. They do have the firepower to fend us off, but it's a tough game, and the computer sees it as a one-way street, and you'd have to agree with them. Once we get castles, which we would, it's all over. Okay, so we played a blunder-free game, just about. There was a few mistakes in there and a few misses, but the computer said we didn't make a blunder, and that's what we set out to do, and we did it. So that's a win and a great game of chess. If a little easy win because they resigned so early. But that's all. You can only play what's in front of you. That's going to be all from me today, folks. I hope you have a lovely time, and I hope that your next chess game is blunder-free too. Take it easy.